Coach, obviously you guys faced a 27-0 deficit last week. It's easy for guys to hang their heads, but defensively, really Josie's interception was the catalyst to give you guys momentum. What was your takeaway seeing these guys battle back after that deficit last week?
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see. Not surprising at all, to be honest with you, just with the character of guys have displayed this year with a lot of adverse circumstances. Yeah, it was cool to see the rally, and obviously. Still not good enough because we fell short, but it was great to see the guys fight.
Josie said earlier this year that this defense is the most fun that he's had playing in since he arrived in the league. What makes him, a good fitness system, and just him in general that he's done well this year?
Yeah, well, it's just we ask a lot of that position, and very smart guy. Him and Alex both are. There's a lot of things we're asking instinctually, memorization wise, technique wise. To get to blitz. So I think there's a lot of things to get to do that are fun stuff for linebackers, especially running and tackling and blitzing. So he's done a heck of a job, and as much fun as he's having, I'm having a lot of fun coaching him.
To follow up on that, George, when he signed him to the 2-year deal in the offseason, said that he was the glue of the defense. What does that look like from a practical standpoint of what he does with guys on a play-to-play basis?
Yeah, just the communication aspect of it. Setting the fronts, a lot of the coverage stuff. With the way the NFL is going these days, all the condensed splits. I mean, every play you have, you're going to be communicating something, and when you have safeties like we do, and when you have inside linebackers like we do, it makes it a lot easier.
Coach Randy Gregory practiced yesterday. He could be back for this Sunday. How much will he benefit?
Say that again?
Randy Gregory.
Okay, gotcha.
How much will he benefit the defense, and exactly where will he have the biggest impact?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player, and so if he's out there, we're a lot better, and so hopefully we could get him back.
Does it help you when he's out there also get a more honest evaluation of Farron or Nick or Coop, in terms of other teams can't treat them as the number one?
I think that's a fair point to say that when he's out there, you got to give him a lot of respect in terms of the protection schemes. But those guys I think when other teams look at Barron and Coop, they're going to be like, well, those guys are hard to deal with as well. And so we feel like all those guys they're going to have some answers for. So.
With Kyler out, what are you seeing from Colt McCoy on film, and how do you keep him from settling in?
Colt. We were with him in San Fran way back when, and smart guy, very decisive. He plays very fast, gets the ball out fast. Obviously they had some protection issues last week, so we'll see how they adjust from that standpoint. But he's a very good player, and he's been in this league for a long time because what he could do above the neck, and he's a very good athlete. So.
When Damari was coming in this year, did you guys view tackling as a strength for him? Because it certainly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, he showed that in college, and he's definitely shown it now. Yeah.
What do you see from their receiving corps, specifically Hopkins, now as he's getting a little more traction coming back from the system?
Yeah, they got a very what's the word I'm looking for? A diverse group in terms of the skill set. They got big guys, they got fast guys, they got in and out guys, and so they got an array of of traits in that room. And so Hopkins is a great player, obviously. AJ Green can still do some things on the edge. Number 83, Dorsch, is doing a good job as well. Robbie Anderson. They got a bunch of guys that have different skills, and they utilize them pretty well.
Couple more, Coach.
That's right. Got a pretty good poker face, but were you mad at 27-0 down, or you don't really show it?
I don't think anybody was happy. Yeah, no. You got to try to stay as level as possible through it all, but it was definitely very frustrating.
What, in your mind, what were like one or two of the biggest things that you had to address in the moment?
Well, we just we wanted to be better assignment-wise. There's a couple of calls I probably could have had better. I wish I could have back. But we just we got to start faster. That's the biggest thing. Because I think the second quarter, the end of the second quarter, and the second half was more reflective of who we think we are.
How do you do that? How do you start that?
We got to prepare to do it. Starts today.
Any more for Coach? All right, thanks
guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hola.
You guys, you got a 29-yard kick return from Montreal, 21-yard punt return. What just did you think of it coming together for him on Sunday?
I mean, I thought we did a better job executing, obviously, on punt. We got back to the standard that we've been trying to get around here since day one. But we didn't win the game, and that's the most important part. Yeah, I commend Montreal for doing a good job as far as returning mechanics and providing explosive returns for our offense, but at the end of the day, we want to win the game.
What do you think contributed to his improved return mechanics there that you just mentioned?
Again, I've been challenging the other players, the guys blocking for him, that we need to take it personal. You need to keep your guy off the stat sheet. I'll keep saying that. So I think some guys took it to heart that they have to sustain their blocks, strain, and finish to the echo of the whistle. And I thought Montrell made a great cut. They tried to catch us off guard by running a hot one, meaning that they didn't have a fold player to that side. Montrell felt that guy. He made a cut and made him miss and got up the sideline, exactly what we wanted him to do. So I thought it was good recognition on Montrell's part to see that guy and feel that guy coming down the field. Absolutely.
Talked a lot about having guys, in and out of the lineup and all that with where you're at receiver, just depending on sort of who's active on Sunday. How do you balance that part of the equation?
It's actually been very difficult. And again, I know I said this last week, but missing Aaron Patrick, missing Jonas Griffin, Alex is now starting on defense. So the core group of guys that we had at the start of the season, they aren't the same guys. And to have Jalen Virgil, he stepped up. And, as far as gunner, as far as kickoff coverage, he's made some plays as far as the coverage part of it. We need the other young guys to step up. Whoever's inserted in the lineup, again, we don't expect a drop-off in play from whoever goes out on the field. That's our expectation.
The touch punt for Corliss is still something he's working on. Did you say anything to him after the first one, because he got better on it after?
Did I say something to him? Is that a
Well,
serious
a
question?
piece of advice or
I said something to him. Whenever we have a team and we're on the 50-yard line and we're going on an inside the 20 type punt, we have to capitalize on that field position. We have to give our defense long field. There is no excuse for a touchback when you're punting the ball from the 50-yard line to 45 or the plus 45. He knows that. He knows our expectation. Even if he punts the ball to the 10-yard line and the returner fair catches it, it's still a win for us. We would prefer to have it inside the 10-yard line, but the 10-yard line is better than the 20. So I most certainly had a conversation with Corliss. He understands what he needs to do, and hopefully this week he does exactly what we want him to do. Keep in mind, he does have 23 punts inside the 20, though.
Yeah, he came back and got another one, didn't he, later in the second half?
He did. Yes, sir.
And Coach Hadley, you guys just got Mike Boone back, and unfortunately now he's going to be out again. Who can you expect to kind of step up in his role? Because he takes on so much for special teams.
In my mind, it's like Isang Bassi. Jalen Virgil is another guy that we look to take the role or play the same positions that Mike Boone played. Again, I think Jalen has done a good job for what we've asked him to do. I think Isang consistently has played at a high level on special teams for us whenever he's been out there. So I think those two guys in particular could step up in that role 100%.
Couple more for Coach. When you have someone like Alex Singleton, he's still playing some teams, but not as much as, like, you're kind of saying, okay, I have to have him on one unit, but I kind of sacrifice him on the other because you're limited on how many reps that they want him to be on teams?
Yeah, and we have a plan for him, and I understand the plan. Obviously, we want him to be a four-core special teams player, but he's doing a great job on defense. He's making a lot of plays on defense, so it's kind of hard to say, hey, let me be selfish as a special teams coordinator and say we just want him on special teams. That's not how it works. We appreciate everything Alex does on special teams, and he's been a productive player as far as making plays on special teams, in particular the punt unit. He's done a great job on punt coverage.
Last one. Any more? All right, thank you, Coach.
Awesome.
Thanks, Coach.
You guys have a wonderful day.
Coach, what did you see from Brett in his last start that you maybe want him to, if he is going on Sunday, to carry over, even though it's like a month and a half ago?
I thought he carried the system well. I thought he had a no-flinch mindset. When guys are coming at him, he's got his eyes still down the field. I thought he did a really good job of just communicating with everybody, getting everybody on the same page, and just running the offense.
Coach, how much does the offense change if Brett's in there as opposed to Russ?
You don't want to change much just because it's not fair to the other 10 guys. And then with the amount of musical chairs we've had, you don't want to have a wholesale change anyway. So keeping it as much as possible and close to it is going to be beneficial for us.
Coach, with Luke Wattenberg, how do you kind of sustain and build his confidence when it doesn't really go his way when he's out there, and then basically kind of gets replaced for the second quarter and the second half?
Yeah, it'd be really easy to lose your confidence, going against 95. He's a great player, but a guy like Luke has a really, really level head. He's got a lot of competitive nature to him. He's really smart, and he knows he's going to be challenged. So he bounced back really quick. He was great on the sideline afterwards, but he's a guy that's a pro at a rookie age. Like he's a guy that you can lean on in the future, and people are going to look up to him. He's got a great head on his shoulders, and I was proud how he fought. But in those situations, you got to do what's best for the team.
Justin, I believe this is your 7th year coaching in the NFL. Have you ever seen a wide receiver room go through as much sort of injury come back, personnel shifting, calling undrafted guys, as much change as this one has had this year?
No, I've never been around something like this. This is unique, and just you got to overcome these situations. And it's not just the receiver room; it's everywhere. So it's been a battle throughout the entire season, and you just got to make sure that you're equipping the guys that are stepping in that room or stepping into that role that may have not even played a down. And I think the position coaches just taking the extra time with those guys and dedicating their time to get them all on the same page. I give a lot of credit to those guys.
After you fell behind, it was vintage Russ again. What do you attribute, that it was the best you guys looked there and the best he looked in a while?
Yeah, it's the Russell we all know and love. It's the guy that's going to take the team on his shoulders and do whatever he can to get the ball out or use his legs. And I got flashbacks when we used to play him back in the day of just him running down the field and going, oh no, here we go. But now we're on his side, so it was a better situation. But it was exciting to see him get back in it, and just seeing the field, and just understanding the rush patterns and just taking off on a few of those. But he's a special player, and when those crucial situations, you'd love to have a guy like that that can get you back in those games.
Moving Jerry to the X position, are there things about that role that fit his skill set maybe a little bit better, and kind of do you anticipate him improving even more in that spot?
Yeah, Jerry is a unique player because he can play all three positions. In that spot, it's usually your workhorse, the guy that can blow it off the top, but it also can do intermediate routes and choice routes and put them inside. So with Jerry at that position, you could do a lot more in those situations. And then, getting Cortland back, now you got to decide where can you put these formations and how can you formationally put those guys on the same side or, on separate sides. So I thought Jerry did a really good job, especially coming back from an injury and just getting back into it and playing fast.
Greg Dulcich, where can he grow these final stretch of games after, considering he's already kind of an important cog in the offense?
Yeah, I think once, as the season progresses, you see him progressively getting better in all facets. As a player and as just seeing the big picture, I feel like he's really advanced for his age and his, being a rookie. Like he's really advanced in a sense where he knows he has a lot of football knowledge, but he's also a smart kid too. So it's a really good balance. And then, asking him to do some things in the run game, obviously that's going to take some time because it's a different world from what he played in college. So I've just been happy with his progress.
How can Billy Turner help the O-line if he's able to come back here in the next couple of weeks?
I just think a guy like him, he's a cornerstone. He's a vet. He's played a lot of football. He's played a lot against just great edge rushers and just getting everybody on the same page. He's also the calming presence in the huddle sometimes when you got to look to somebody, and he's a guy that can get everybody level-headed. He's a great in the meeting rooms. He's great on the field. He's great in the huddle. So, he's seen a lot of ball. He's seen a lot of issues. He's seen a lot of greatness. So he's a guy that really everybody can rally around.
The series where Russ got hurt, I think it was 2nd and 34, 2nd and 35. How rare is it to have a guy back there that can erase that?
Pretty rare, and I'm glad he's on our team. Those situations, you're sitting there on the call sheet going, there's nothing that we have right now that could even advance. And even the second down, there was a huge catch with Dulcich to get it in that position, and even that one was a phenomenal catch and throw. So that was a tight window. That was a great concentration with Dulcich, and that was great timing. The ball was out before Dulcich even turned around. So, those are the things that we love about Russ.
When this might be a little odd, but when a team you're playing is on a documentary that is playing throughout the season, and you turn, there's no stone unturned as coaches when you scout guys. Anybody assigned to look at that show and see anything to be gained there?
I don't know much about that, but I'm sure there's somebody behind the scenes doing that work.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Coach.